With the addition of Aaron Rodgers to the AFC East, the division is now a lot more competitive. Buffalo being the team of the division over the last few years. The emergence of Miami with their 2 stars receivers, at least on paper. And then, of course, you can't count out the Patriots with Bill Belichick, who also puts together some good defenses over the years. So now, the question is the window closing for the Buffalo Bills? Well, we're going to preview the AFC East every single game, each win-loss record for each team in the division, and we'll find out if the Bills will still remain as the kings of the AFC East. So watch this preview as I break down every single game for every single team for the AFC East. Said last season, 8-9, third in the AFC East. One of the worst offenses in football, right? They were, this offense was at times looked like dreadful, but despite all that, 17th in points, 26th in yards, and I think Bill O'Brien comes in and he definitely changes that immediately, especially with the slight additions. May not be the sexiest names. I know a lot of Patriot fans out there are not happy with the names. Oh, these guys are not good. They suck. They're not D. Hopkins. They're not this and that. But Bill O'Brien will be able to do something with that. Defense was about slightly above average. Not as great as the previous season, right? Previous year, the Patriots was the top 5 defense. I think last year they were more closer to top 10 overall. 11th in points allowed, 8th in yards allowed. So roughly a top 10 offense overall. They were good in the takeaway department. Yeah, so that was pretty good. And they were also good in some other defensive categories. But overall, I think that the defense was better 2 years ago in 2021. But it's still a good enough defense that kept them in a bunch of games. But I think this year, with the addition of Bill O'Brien, the Patriots will be a better team. You got to remember, Mac Jones' rookie year at quarterback, the Patriots was 6th in the NFL in points. They had a top 5-ish, top 10. They had a top 10 offense with a rookie quarterback. Statistically, top 10 offense. I mean, it would roughly be 6th in scoring, 15th in yards per. But remember, this is a rookie quarterback, so they were still slightly in the above better half of the league in offense. Wasn't explosive, but it was slightly better. That was with a rookie quarterback, and their defense was obviously statistically top 5 across the board. And that was in a rookie year. So Mac is now, and he has 2 years under his belt, 2 different staff. Hopefully Bill O'Brien will get him going. And if that relationship is good, I'm confident that Mac will take off. Now, will he be the super duper MVP? Like, will he be like as good as Burrow or put up these crazy stats? Probably not. But I think he will be a top 5-ish quarterback by the end of the year. Between 5, okay, maybe not top 5-ish, but he'll be around that 7-6-5 range. I really believe that. I think, especially if you considering his improvements, because he's not done yet as far as like improvement. I still think he can improve. You don't just go from being pretty good rookie year to just falling out the league by year 3. And plus there's pressure on him to really get it done this year. He has to prove that he's a franchise quarterback more so than not this year, and I think he will. I'm confident that he will. So let's go over the schedule. We got week 1 at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, like I said, Eagles coming in. This is a 4:25 game, 4:30-ish. Well, probably 5 if you're on the East Coast or whatever time it is. This is an afternoon game, pretty much. 4:25 Eastern. in the afternoon on CBS. It's a local game at home against the Eagles, the NFC champs. I'm going to say this is going to be a win. Home opener. I believe the Patriots come out and get the W. So I'm giving the Pats a W for that. Big W there. So they'll go 1-0. Week 2 at home to the Miami Dolphins. This is a prime time game. Prime time. I say win. Sunday Night Football, Mac Jones gets a W at home with all the eyes. This is the game that's going to say Patriots 2-0, they're for real. After week 2, the NFL is going to be kissing our asses saying Patriots look legit. They get a win there. 2-0. Week 3 at the Jets. 1 o'clock game. This is going to be a big one too. Now, this is this could be a loss. Could be a loss. This is by week 3, is things looking good for the Jets? Maybe they're 1-1, maybe they're 2-0. This could be a 2-0 teams possibly playing for first place in the division. I want to say Pats will win this, but it's at the Jets. You know, Aaron Rodgers early on. I'm going to say, you know what? Fuck it. This is a win. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Patriots defense pulls it out, and maybe Aaron Rodgers throws a pick 6 in the fourth quarter or a key defensive stop, and the Patriots go 3-0. They win at the Jets 3-0 going into, and the reason why I went more so for this is because I think the following week at Dallas, I think they'll lose that. Right? So they'll go 3-0. Week 4 at Dallas, they'll probably lose that in a nail biter at Dallas. So now they're 3-1 going into week 5 at home against the Saints. I think that's going to be a win. They'll bounce back from the loss. They'll get the win there. 4-1 going into Vegas to face the Raiders. Right? To go up against former teammate Jacoby Myers. He has something to prove. I still think that the Patriots on the road, I think they're going to beat the Raiders. I just don't see the Raiders being that good. Jimmy Garoppolo, whatever. Patriots will win that. They're going to be 5-1 going back at home to Buffalo. Buffalo 1 o'clock game. Tough game. I think the Patriots win that one. They're going to be 6-1. Going into the game at Miami. Now, I think they lose this one to Miami. They're going to split the season series. They get it out the way. At Miami, I give the Miami Dolphins a win here. Patriots usually always have a tough route in Miami. I think they take their first L of the season. Their second L, excuse me. So now, back at home, 6-2, facing the Washington Commanders at 1 o'clock on Fox. I gotta say that the Commanders are gonna lose this. So that's 7-2 now for the Patriots. 7-2. 7-2. So you got 7-2 going into the game again to the Frankfurt game. This is week 10 at Germany. So the team travels to Germany. This is going to be a good one. It's a home game on paper. So this is considered a home game for the Pats. I'm going to say that the Patriots win this game in Germany. It's an early game, 9:30 in the morning. I'm going to get the Pats to win here against the Colts. Colts are not good. They suck. They have nothing. So now, the bye week, right? 8-2 going into the bye week. This is where the Patriots are gonna hit the road, because it does get a little bit tougher in that second half, but not as much. They're confident. They're playing well. The defense is on fire. The offense looks good. Things are looking great. Everybody in the NFL is now starting to say, look out for the Patriots. Watch out for the Pats. And on that bye week, everybody's gonna be talking about the Patriots. 8-2. Right before the game at the Giants, 1 o'clock on Fox. So after the bye week, typically the Patriots, Bill Belichick teams do pretty well after the bye week. But this year, I'm going to give the New York Giants the victory here. And at the Giants, I think at home, at New York, at Giants, facing the Giants, I think the Giants will win this game. I'll give them that. So that's going to be a loss for the Pats on the road, coming off the bye week, which is un-Belichick-like. But it will happen. And he'll be mad. They won't be prepared. He'll get on their ass. And then the following week, right, December 3rd, they're going to blow the doors off the LA Chargers at home. 1 o'clock game. Patriots win that one. So now, what's the record? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9-3 now going into December 7th at the Steelers. This is going to be a tough game. It's on Prime Video. Anybody that has Amazon Prime out there. 8 o'clock game. This is a Thursday nighter, I believe. So it's a short week for the Patriots. Sunday, then play right back on Thursday. That's a tough turnaround. I'm going to give the Patriots a loss at Pittsburgh in a close one on that turnaround. They're going to lose that game to Pittsburgh. So that's what, 9-4. So that's 9-4, and that's gonna be a tough loss because the following week you got the Kansas City Chiefs, right? You got to go home and face the Chiefs. That game's gonna be on ESPN. That's a Monday night game against the Chiefs. I think the Pats are gonna lose that game. Honestly, they're gonna lose that one. And Patrick Mahomes is going to pull a rabbit out of his ass. And they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs because things are starting to get a little shaky now in New England. You know, they lost 3 of the last 4. You know, people start chirping. Can the Pats do it? Can they turn around? It's going to be close. Chirping is going to go on. You know how it goes. And but then they come back on Sunday at Denver Broncos, and they beat the Broncos in Denver. They turn it around. They get the W because now the season's on the line. The division might be on the line depending on the win-loss record. So at this point, after the bye week, they 2-3 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're 10-5. With 2 games left at Buffalo and at the Jets. These are 2 critical games because this could be for the division. 10-5 going into at Buffalo. This is the game right here that puts the nail in the coffin for the Buffalo Bills. Trust me when I tell you. Not only will the Patriots beat Buffalo at Buffalo, that 1 o'clock game December 31st, because the Patriots will be healthier. They'll have some running backs ready to go. Bills don't really have a back. Now this whole thing can change, right? Depending on personnel. But right now, as personnel is constructed, I think this game is going to be cold. It's going to be right in the wheelhouse. May even be snowy. Could be a low scoring game, and I think the Patriots will benefit from that. They got a better defense, and I think the Pats will win in Buffalo because it's going to be a really, really important game, and the Bills season is going to be in jeopardy. 11-5, final game of the year at home to the Jets. We don't have a time yet for that, but the Patriots win that, and they finish the season on a 3-game winning streak as they go into the postseason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they'll finish the year 12-5 and possibly an AFC East title. Now, I don't know if it's going to be that way because I have to do the rest of the schedule. But 12-5, they're in the playoffs, may even have a division title. So that's our predictions for the New England Patriots. They will be 12-5 on the year with losses to the Cowboys, the Dolphins, at Dallas, at Miami, at the Giants, at Pittsburgh, and home to the Chiefs. Those will be the losses. So they won't be a very great road team next year, at least on paper, according to my projections. The only road wins they'll have will be at the Jets, at Raiders, and at Denver and at Buffalo. So it doesn't look like a great road team, but all in all, they will finish 12-5 and possibly a division title. If not, it'd be very close. But I think it'll be a division title because I think it'll come down to those last 2 weeks between Buffalo and the Jets, or maybe that Buffalo game, depending on how good Buffalo will be. But I have the Patriots sweeping Buffalo, so that tiebreaker would go to Buffalo in this scenario, and they also sweep the Jets. So, and they split against the Dolphins. So, I'm pretty confident to say that unless any one of those other teams get 12 wins, Patriots are going to be the AFC East champs by my calculations. So that's that. And I'm pretty confident in that. I really am. I really am. So there you have it, folks. Patriots 12-5 as they will be the AFC East titles champs. The Buffalo Bills, who has they've been good last few years. They've owned the division. They've had it first place in the division the last 3 years. The Bills Mafia out there, they've been excited, but they haven't gotten the ring. No Super Bowls to show for, not even a Super Bowl appearance in this mini run for the Buffalo Bills. And now with the absence of Leslie Frazier, we have to acknowledge that Leslie Frazier is taking a 1-year leave from the team. There's really, we don't know who's going to really be controlling that defense. So I think the Bills defense is going to take a step back, and that's going to also mean that the Bills overall will take a step back, in my opinion. And I think this year the Bills will not win 13 games like they did last year. Now, let's not forget that the AFC East is now much more competitive than it might be. I said this before, the AFC East is probably the most competitive division in football, top to bottom. I mean, all four teams could win 10 games, at least 10 games, all four. Not saying that all four will, but they all four has the ability to win 10 plus games. But somebody cannot. A few of them will not. And as we go over the Buffalo Bills schedule here, right? It's a pretty... the schedule is pretty good. I think this schedule is going to show Buffalo that they're coming back down to earth. And while most Bills fans think that the Buffalo Bills will take the next step this year and win the Super Bowl, I'm telling you that is not going to happen. Matter of fact, it could be a possibility that the Bills will miss the playoffs outright. That is a possibility. That's definitely a possibility. And I know you guys are going to blow up this comments and call me crazy. I'm a hater. I'm biased. Look, I may be biased, but I have to look at this from a football standpoint. And I'm saying that teams that have these successes over time, it's just something about Buffalo that they just can't get it done. The city of Buffalo's cursed. I'm telling you. They're a cursed team, and the Leslie Frazier being out for the year, I think that's going to definitely hurt them. And maybe Leslie Frazier is probably deep down inside hoping that the team doesn't do as well, so he can, turn that into another head coaching opportunity, as say, hey, look, I've been out for a year and the team took a step back. That shows my value. So, and let's not forget that the Diggs and Allen situation that has been covered up as, oh no, they're all good, they're doing well. I'm telling you that relationship is going to explode this year, especially when the Bills struggle. So, without further ado, let's get into the Buffalo Bills schedule. Shall we? Now, Week 1, September 11th, they will be at the Jets to play the Jets in New Jersey. And they're going to lose that game. 9/11, emotional day. Not saying that Buffalo doesn't have a connection to 9/11, but I think the Jets, the New York type atmosphere, the Jet fan base, I think this is going to be much more of a Jet type of deal. The Jet fans in the building, they're going to be riled up. This is going to be a national televised game I think it's Monday Night Football, I believe. And I believe the Jets are going to win this game. This will be the first loss of the year for the Buffalo Bills. So they'll lose on 9/11. And then a week later, 6 days later, as they play on Sunday, they're going to travel back home for their home opener against the Las Vegas Raiders. Now in that game, I think they win that game. There's a home opener. They'll probably put up some big points. Things will look good. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, the connection. Raiders are not going to be that good this year, in my opinion. Then they travel to Washington to take on the Commanders. The newly acquired Commanders ownership. Things are going to be pretty fun there, possibly. They're going to do some things. Fans are going to be in the building excited. And we're going to see the Bills win that game in Washington. So now they'll be 2-1. Going into week 3 at home against the Miami Dolphins. This is going to be another good game. The Bills are going to have a good first start of the season. They're going to start off pretty good. But you're going to see where things take a turn. Week 4, Bills win that. So now they're 3-1 going into week 5 against the Indianapolis Colts. And they'll be taking on that team, which is going to be a bad team. They'll beat the Colts at home, right? And that game will be played, I believe, that game is played in London, if I'm not mistaken. I know one of these games are in London. Wait, is it in London? Or is that the Jacksonville game? Shit. I done fucked the schedule up here. Oh, sorry, not the Colts. My bad. Take that back. Made a mistake. I'm reading the schedule wrong here. That's a different Colt. Let me cross this out so I don't confuse myself. Because I already did the schedule. I'm just repeating it back. But I read off the preseason team by mistake. This game is in London. It's against the Jaguars. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, who pretty much have a nice little home base out there in London, they're going to be they're going to be taking on the Buffalo Bills in week 5. Now, the Jaguars will beat the Bills. The Jaguars are going to be really good this year. They're going to win their division. They're going to be good. I think this is a game you're going to see Calvin Ridley destroy the Buffalo Bills secondary. The Jaguars are going to win this game. This is going to be a loss for the Bills. Then they come back to the U.S. and they come home to face the New York Vaginas. And they'll beat them. So they'll be 5-2 going into week 7 against the New England Patriots. That's going to be October 22nd. They're going to lose to the Patriots at New England, which will put them at 5-3. 5-3 head into a home game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where they'll beat them. So they're 6-3. 6-3 going into week 9 against the Cincinnati Bengals, where they will obviously lose to Joe Burrow and the boys. 6-4. After 10 games, 6-4 is the record for them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-4. Excuse me. 5-4 after 9. Week 10. At home to Denver, they'll beat them. 6-4. Week 11, they'll beat the Jets at home. 7-4. So now they're 7-4 going into the Philadelphia game at Philly, they're going to lose that game. I think the Eagles might blow the doors off them. And they're going to be 7-5 after 12 weeks. This is where things go completely wrong. 7-5. Offense is not looking as great. Defense is slipping a bit. Defense is looking terrible over the last few weeks after losing to Cincinnati and Philly, two high-powered offenses. Things are not looking good, and that defense gets a bye week, so everyone gets a week off in week 13. And then they have to turn around and go out to Kansas City to play the Chiefs in week 14, where the defense once again gets beat the heck up. It'll be a shootout. Kansas City wins. Defense looking shaky. They're not looking good. They get another loss. Then they go to week 15 at home to Dallas on Fox. They beat the Cowboys. It's a must-win scenario here because now their playoff hopes are in shambles. Then they go out to LA. Now this is a game you say, well, the Bills, they know they got to win this game. They'll go out and handle business against the Chargers. They won't. Justin Herbert will beat Josh Allen in a shootout out in California. The Bills fall in California in a very, very important game, possibly also for the Chargers. The Bills choke. Chargers win. Bills go at home to New England. The season's over. They're in shambles. Things are not looking good. Diggs and Allen is fighting, and they lose to New England at home to the Patriots, who will sweep the season series with that victory in Buffalo. So now they get swept by the Pats. So their only hope is to beat the Miami Dolphins in week 18, which they do. They'll beat the Dolphins at home. At Miami, they'll beat the Dolphins at Miami to close out the year at 9-8. And will that be enough to make the playoffs in the AFC? I say no. It will be very close, but it may not be close enough. So the Buffalo Bills will finish the year 9-8, losing 4 of their last 6, and going 2-3 after the bye week to close out the year 9-8. And that would be after starting the year winning 4 of their first 6, right? So things are not going to be looking good. No 13-win seasons this year for the Buffalo Bills. No division title this year for the Buffalo Bills. Now, I know this is not the popular opinion, and most people have the Bills going to the Super Bowl or at least getting to the AFC title game and definitely winning the division. But me does not. So that's the Buffalo Bills season preview here for the AFC East and the rest of the season. So when we come back, we'll take a quick break and we will move on to the next AFC East team, the New York Jets. Jets sucks. All right, that's it. Any questions, any comments, leave them down low. If you're a Bills Mafia fan, show yourself and tell me why I'm wrong, because I think I'm not. We moved on to the New York Jets. The New York Jets sucks. Now the Jets, very interesting, right? They brought in Aaron Rodgers this offseason. The big acquisition, quarterback Aaron Rodgers from the Green Bay Packers to the New York Jets. And there's questions about would he be able to handle New York? How would he react? He's played in, Green Bay for his whole career. West Coast guy as well, so he hasn't really been out on the East Coast. This is a new type of media, new ball game, and we'll see how he handles it for the regular season. Now, the Jets, who last season were not the best team in the league, they finished last in the division, right? 7-10, missed the playoffs. We know the deal with that. But this is a new season, new team. They got a good wide receiver and Garrett Wilson, who has promising talent. He had 1,100 yards as a rookie with a crappy quarterback throwing him the football. And funny because I think Zach Wilson had 1,688 passing yards to lead the Jets, and his leading receiver had 1,100 of those yards. So clearly, Garrett Wilson is getting a lot of action last year as a youngster. So, Jets had one of the worst offenses in the league last year, despite the good performance from Wilson. But their defense was top 5, right? They had a top 5, number 4 rank in points allowed, and they were 4th ranked in yards allowed. So now you add Aaron Rodgers to the mix, who will have this offense looking a lot better. But this is a growing improvement for the Jets. Now, 2 years ago, not last season, but the year before, they had the worst defense in football. So the defense is there. They got the defense to where they want it. The offense was still bad, but they have improved it by adding Aaron Rodgers. So, how many wins is Aaron Rodgers worth to the New York Jets this year? Now, every season is different, so you can't really try to say, well, since they won 7 that year, Rodgers is good for this amount, so if you add that, boom. No, you really can't say that because every season is different for every single team. And I will say that the Jets will have a better year, but my predictions are not going to be totally based off of what they did last year, even though they are making strides. I will say this, though, their schedule is very, very favorable to them to have a big season. I think the schedule plus Aaron Rodgers is a very, very is going to be a big advantage for the Jets. I mean, they probably have one of the easiest schedules in football, which makes sense, being that they were a 7-win team the year before and they were last in the division. So let's go over the schedule and let's see where we will have the Jets. Now, we did the Bills and the Patriots just for a little recap. We have the Patriots finishing 12-5. And we have the Buffalo Bills finishing 9-8. So those are the recaps so far. So where will the Jets fit in this mix in the AFC East? Let's get that started right now as we bring up the schedule here. And it looks like, as you can see, week 1 will be at September 11th at home on ABC, ESPN+, ESPN. At home on 9/11 to the Buffalo Bills, right? Week 1. Now, I talked about this in the Bills preview. I think the Jets will have the advantage here. I think the Jets will win this game at home against the Bills, and they'll start off 1-0. I just think Aaron Rodgers, 9/11, the New York Jet fans are going to be loud. They're going to be ready, and the Bills is going to be too much for the Bills. Week 2, though, when the Jets head out to Dallas to take on the Cowgirls in a Week 2 matchup at Dallas, I think they're going to lose that one at Cowboy Stadium. Then they get Week 3 at home hosting the New England Patriots. Mac Jones and that Patriots defense will come in, and I think they will beat the Jets. It's going to be a close game, but I think the Patriots pull it out, and the Jets will fall to 1-2. Now, it's 1-2. The New York media starts to chirp. Hey, what's going on? Is the Jets really this good, or are they not as good as we thought? They just lost to Dallas and then to New England back-to-back. The New York media, the newspapers, sports talk radio, 98.7 ESPN is going to be chirping. Maybe the fan. Is the fan still going? Maybe, I don't know. But the fans are going to be going nuts. ESPN New York. And they're gonna say, "Hey, Rodgers, blah blah blah." Cause who knows? Maybe Rodgers is struggling. Maybe he's playing well. Maybe the defense is not playing as like they should, and maybe they're talking about coaches on the hot seat. Who knows, right? Because when you see a team that has Aaron Rodgers and the talent that they have on this roster, and you start off 1-2, the scapegoat will be the head coach, right? Because he's not. Who is he? He's been there. This will be his third season as head coach of the Jets. Robert Saleh, I think his name is, and he's an easy guy, an easy scapegoat to remove if things don't go well. So, but then things do turn well going into week 4. Week 4, they host the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Because the reason why the fans are going to panic is going to be like, man, we got the Chiefs coming up. We can go 1-3. This is going to be bad. So the New York media is going to be going nuts. But guess what happens? Aaron Rodgers pulls out a big win. The Jets beat the Kansas City Chiefs at home to head to going into week 5 as a 500 ball club. Now, not where they really want to be. They probably thought maybe they'd be 4-1. 3-1. But they'll take 2-2. Then they got to go to Denver. They'll beat Denver. Right? Now they're 3-2. So now things are looking up for the Jets. Here come the Jets. But now they are home to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles will come into MetLife and lose. So now the Jets are on a 3-game winning streak. The New York Jets are on fire. 3-game winning streak to start the season 4-2. Headed to the game against the New York Giants on October 20th. Wait, I went too fast. 3-game winning streak headed to the bye week. So now New York radio is kissing their ass. They're loving them. Hey, Rodgers, he's great. You know how New York fans are. 1 minute, they want you out of town. Next minute, they love you. So the Jets will be on a 3-game winning streak. 4-2 headed to the bye week. They get an early bye week for week 7. Then week 8 comes around. They're at home they play the Giants at the Giants. Giants is the home team in this scenario. They beat the Giants. That's right. So now the Jets are on a 4-game winning streak. 4-game winning streak. 5-2 on the year. Week 9, they got the Los Angeles Chargers. They beat the Chargers. Now there's the MVP talks for Aaron Rodgers. Is he MVP? The Jets are looking good. So now the Jets, going into week 10, they will be, at this point, 6-2. Right? They got that right? 6-2, headed to week 10. Against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders. Now that you would think, they're just going to win this game. They're on a 5-game winning streak. Hottest team in football. But the Jets do what the Jets do best. They fuck it up. So the Jets will lose on ESPN Monday Night Football in front of the Monday night crowd and at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. Excuse me. Sunday Night Football, excuse me. Sunday Night Football, they're the big Sunday Night Football crowd in Las Vegas. They'll lose. Then they'll lose again at Buffalo in week 11, right? And then they come back home. They'll beat the Miami Dolphins on Prime Video. If you have Amazon Prime, that's a 2 p.m. game or 3 p.m. game on a Friday. Wait, 3 p.m. on Friday? Wow. I don't know how they pulling that off. But I don't understand that. Is that one of those international games? No, that's a Friday game. Yeah, they're gonna beat the Dolphins. Then they got Atlanta. They're gonna beat the Atlanta Falcons. Then they're gonna beat the Houston Texans. They're gonna put up another 3-game winning streak. And then they'll go down to Miami in week 15, lose to the Dolphins. Then they get Washington and Cleveland back-to-back weeks, and weeks 16 and 17, they'll beat both of those teams. And then the big game. The game that may decide the division between the New England Patriots and the New York Jets for the division in Foxborough. That's right. For the division in Foxborough. And the Patriots pull it out. Week 18. Patriots win. They'll finish the year 12-5. Jets 11-6. And that's how the Jets regular season will end, as they'll probably get a wild card spot. So let's recap. Jets 11-6 with 5-game winning streak at the early part of the season, the first half of the season. They'll have victories, big victories at home against Kansas City. That would be a big victory. At home against Philly would be another big victory. Also, these will be their big wins, but they'll feast on the schedule playing against the Falcons at home, the Texans at home. They'll take advantage of those two teams. Now, the Falcons could be pretty good, but I still gave the Jets the win there. But Houston will be bad, of course. And I think they will split with Miami. They'll get swept by New England. But the big win will be the Kansas City one and splitting with Buffalo. So this will turn the Jets season around, and the Jets have a favorable schedule here. So I think that the Jets will get 11 wins this year. I really didn't think that coming in because I hadn't seen the full schedule. I mean, I didn't know who we was going to play because of the divisions, obviously, but I didn't realize how bad the schedule is, how good it is for the Jets. So I had to readjust my thinking, but I still call them the Jets. Sucks, because that's just part of, the whole thing there. But the Jets will have a good year. 11-6. They'll finish second in the division as of right now. We still got the Miami Dolphins, but they will lose the division to the Patriots in week 18. That will be the final week of the season. That's how I predict things to happen. Now, if you're a Jet fan out there, you probably think I'm crazy. You probably think, hey, we're going to win the division. We're going to do this. Aaron Rodgers will be MVP candidate. He'll have a big year, and I think I'll see the Jets at 11 wins. Let us know in the comments what you think about that. Do you think the New York Jets are an 11-win team? Do you think they win more or less? Let us know as we finish off this AFC East preview, or the season preview, NFL preview, with the Miami Dolphins coming up here on Sports Day TV. So stay tuned for that, all you Finch fans, as we break down the Miami Dolphins schedule. The Miami Dolphins, they got Tua. They were 9-8 last season. Lost in the wild card game. They actually made the playoffs. They were second in the AFC East. So they kind of showed people, hey, we're pretty good here. Now, the Dolphins are in a kind of wild spot, right? Because it's like you thought after last year, they got the two wide receivers. They're making a big step. But the problem is the rest of the division got good. The rest of this is the toughest division in football. So while if things didn't change much from last year, the Dolphins would have definitely been a legitimate threat to win 13 games. But I just don't think they're going to have enough to compete, and they're not going to be Super Bowl contenders. They're just not. Last year, pretty good offensively, 11th in points, 6th in yards. Defense, 24th in points allowed, 18th in yards. So they improved these things. They got better. But will it be enough to win in the playoffs or even get to the playoffs? So let's go over this Miami Dolphins schedule to preview the NFL season. Now, we're going to start with week 1 at the Los Angeles Chargers. So, I think they're going to lose this game. September 10th, Sunday, week 1, they're going to lose in LA. It's a cross-country travel from Miami to LA. They'll probably be in LA before that, obviously. The game's on Sunday. I expect them to be in LA probably on Friday or by Friday or by Thursday at least. But they'll lose that game regardless. It's a home opener for the Chargers. Justin Herbert, they got offensive weapons over there too. Dolphins defense won't be that great as the rest of the defense in the division. They possibly may have the worst defense in the division. Maybe. I know the Bills are going to take a hit with Leslie Frazier out for the year. The Jets have a good defense. The Patriots are going to have a top defense. So the Dolphins may have the worst defense in the division. And you will see very early on why when they lose week 1 to the LA Chargers. So, week 1, Chargers will beat Miami. And they're going to go into week 2, 0-1. Week 2 at New England, they're going to lose that. So they're going to be 0-2 right out the gate, headed into week 3 for their home opener against the Denver Donkeys, where I expect them to play big and win their home opener. So we'll give them that. So they'll be 1-2 heading into week 4 at Buffalo. So right out the gate, they're going to have 3 of their first 4 games on the road. That's a tough break to start the season. At Buffalo, they're gonna lose that. 1-3 now. Things are not looking good. There's a lot of chirping going on. Is Tua the guy? Is he ready? Is he really legit? There's gonna be a lot of chirping. Coaching stuff is gonna be talked about. McDaniel. A lot of stuff is gonna be happening. The media down in Miami is gonna be chirping and stuff like that. So then they have week 5. They head home and they host the New York Giants. Now they probably win that game. I'll give them that win at home against the Giants in week 5. Week 6 at home to Carolina. Rookie quarterback. Is it a rookie quarterback? I think they got one of the rookie quarterbacks, or at least a young quarterback. Carolina's not going to do jack. We'll give the Dolphins that one too. So now they turn things around a bit. Now they're 3-3 heading into week 7 at Philadelphia. That's going to be a heck of a game. This is going to be a litmus test for the Dolphins. If they can win this game, this will be pretty big, because after this they got New England, Kansas City back to back. So can they win this game? I say no. They're going to lose at Philly, right? They're going to lose at Philly. And then they go to at home to New England. Now, I think they beat New England at home. New England typically has a rough time in Miami throughout the years for some strange reason. I will give the Dolphins that victory in week 8. So now, week 9 at home to the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes coming in town. Mahomes is going to light them up. Well, actually, I think this game is not in... I think this is one of those weird games. 8:30 in the morning. Yeah, this is one of those overseas games. Sorry. Forget that I said that. But anyway, Kansas City is going to beat them regardless. And this is right before the bye week. So they're going to head into the bye week. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to be 4-5 heading into the bye week. And that's not a good spot, but it's not bad. They still have a chance. But you want to be doing better. There will be talks about Tua and his accuracy. Week 11, at home to the Las Vegas Raiders. They're going to win that game to hit 500 on the season. 5-5. Week 12, at the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers, they're going to lose that. Week 13, at Washington. Now, this is an interesting game because on Fox, it's a 1 o'clock game. And at Washington, right? You know what I'm going to do here? And this may sound like I'm hating on the Dolphins, but I'm going to give them the L here. December 3rd at Washington is going to be cold. It's wintertime, Northeast. I'm gonna give the Washington Redskins. The Washington Commanders the win. So I'm giving the Dolphins an L on that. Then they come back home into a more warmer climate down in Miami to face the Tennessee Titans on Monday Night Football on ESPN. Primetime game. Titans at home. This is going to be... I'm going to give them an L here. Honestly, I think the Titans can come in there with Julio Jones. I mean, not Julio Jones. DeAndre Hopkins. I think the Titans are going to come in there and they're going to get the upset in Miami week 14. And it could be a big win for the Titans as they try to push for a potential wild card spot in that AFC South. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see how the schedule pans out. No spoilers. Week 15 back at home against the New York Jets. They win that one. And then week 16 at home to Dallas on Fox. They're going to lose that. I think the Cowboys come down there. Dak Prescott and those boys will beat the Miami Dolphins. I give them an L. And then at Baltimore. I think they're going to beat Baltimore. I think they go into Baltimore, they win. They know it's a must-win game there. They're going to beat the Baltimore Ravens. 1 o'clock. The Dolphins. It's going to be a close game. Dolphins pull it out. Maybe. I'll give them the win. I wanted to give them the loss, but I'll give them the win. I'm not really sold on Baltimore like everyone else is. And then week 18, to close out the year in Miami. Let's see what the record's going to be before we go over it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're 7-9 heading to week 18 against the Buffalo Bills. And this is probably one of the biggest must-wins for them, because I think if you want to get a chance for the wild card, you're probably going to have to win about 8 to 9 games, and they're going to need this win. Do they get it? No, they lose. So 7-10 is their record. They lose at home to the Miami Dolphins. To the Buffalo Bills, excuse me. So Dolphins will be 7-10 this season. They'll take a step back after being 9-8 previously. And it's just a rough break for them because, look, when the division, you get Aaron Rodgers, that changes the dynamics. Sorry. The Dolphins, you got these receivers. Who cares? It's nice and all, but Tua is still a wild card. And there's no guarantee that any of those guys will stay healthy. Somebody, look, when I factor in this schedule, could this happen? Maybe, probably not. Right? That's why it's a prediction. It's a preview, more so of a prediction, because we don't know. Injuries happen, things happen, but I'm not sold on the Miami Dolphins like many of you guys are out there. So 7-10 will be my prediction for them. They'll be last place in the AFC East. That is how it's going to go. Last place in the AFC East. So that's it, folks. So let's recap the division one more time. We got the Miami Dolphins 7-10. The New York Jets 11-6. Buffalo Bills 9-8. And the New England Patriots 12-5. That is the predictions for the AFC East.